All right. Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters. Most High in Christ bless. All honor and glory to the Father and His Son, the Christ, as always. Um, a blessing, as I always say, to be able to bring out another class in spirit and in truth. Lord's will. This is good edification for brothers and sisters. And, I pray that it reaches somebody to at least, jog your memory, give you some type of clarity and comfort in these words in the Bible. All praises to the Most High to be able to bring this stuff out and understand at least some of it. This book is big and it's can get complicated, but all praise to the Most High, the opportunity to be able to teach it. Tonight's topic is Esau despised his birthright, but not the blessing. Okay, Esau despises his birthright, but not the blessing. Keep that in mind, and try to follow me. I'm gonna try to keep it concise and some clarity. Be the Most High's will. So, I don't know if people is you read. And I might have mentioned this in the past. I'm not sure, but as the years go by, you start to understand different nuances of the Bible. A lot of people that have been in the truth longer than you, they speak on these things and they tell you it, and it's intriguing because you're reading the same verses they're reading. But we know the scriptures is not of any private interpretation. That does not stop the Most High from revealing and shaping the scriptures that a brother or a sister gets deeper and deeper as they continue to go. And you hear this from people that have been in the truth longer than you. And I'm starting to experience that more and more. All praise to the Most High, because some people just stay surface level. It's not to knock anybody, but mainly talking about like people that's in the church and, wasting their time on Sundays and essentially not necessarily people in the truth. But this journey of wisdom and understanding and knowledge, trying to couple them together, it's a never ending thing. So, an interesting thing is you start to see, like, the scriptures start off in Genesis, as we know. Adam is mentioned. You look in Corinthians, it talks about the first Adam. Then you talk about the second Adam, Christ coming. Physically, in all aspects, Adam came first of the dust of the ground, but carnally he came first. Then the second Adam came, Christ came spiritually, the second one. We're always supposed to pay attention to the spiritual side of it because the Most High is always trying to help us understand that's where the significance is. The only thing that matters from the very beginning. But as we are disobedient creatures, hard-headed, and there's a process to learn certain things, not from God's perspective, because He's omnipotent and understands everything, but for His ability to relate His level of genius to us. He had to come up with some type of rhyme or reason or scheme for us to understand it and relate to Him. And He did that carnally to show us the spiritual side of things. So you first have Adam carnally, then you have Christ, right? It's interesting if you pay attention moving forward. You have Cain, and then you have Abel, right? You have Ishmael, then you have Isaac. You have Esau, then you have Jacob. Flesh, spirit, flesh, spirit, flesh, spirit, over and over and over again. This paints a pattern of things for us to understand. If you can pick up on it, hopefully people understand what I'm talking. You should. I think I'm saying it kind of plainly. You should understand where I'm coming from. Overcoming the flesh to understand the spiritual side of it. Usually you have to go through something. The Most High's weapon of choice is adversity for us. Though it sucks a lot of times, but it's necessary. All right. But consider these things. We use this on the street all the time about considering your ways in the scriptures. That's one of the most heavy and valued brief verses in the scriptures that you can always live by. Because this is what the Most High is always asking us to do. The beast He created, but you read in Job, He endowed us with wisdom. So we're supposed to use that to the best of our ability. Milk as much as you can out of it, for the betterment of you, for the betterment of your nation. All right. Just keep all that in mind. Let's go to open up with Sirach 30, Sirach 32. Let me tear this page. Sirach 32 in verse 18. Make sure this thing is running. All right, cool. Sirach 32 in verse 18. It says, a man of counsel will be considerate. All right, a man of counsel will be considerate. But a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when of himself he have done without counsel. That's a very scary thing. Anybody that moves without fear on a physical level or a carnal side of it, you're not going to insert yourself into a conversation with a world-class boxer and just decide to run your mouth off because his hands are registered for a reason. Bad things can come of that. You move in a certain type of fear in different facets of life. That might be one of them. With the Most High, it's both, because you know that there's a ruler over everything. You have that type of level of understanding, that fear should go up. Now, people always say things, stupid comments like, why does God have to be feared? It's a level of respect, and it's a level of understanding, because the Most High is worthy to be praised. He should be feared because he's the one that's presiding over everything in existence. So it would probably, behoove you to be wise in your decisions and the things that you're doing. The Lord says a man of counsel will be considerate. Counsel, be considerate, because your mind is a lot of times your enemy. So a man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear. So just like I mentioned about Adam, the first and the second, the Most High shows you different examples for us to pick up on, and he does it through the creation. For instance, let's go to Job real quick. I think it's Job 40. Is it 40? 41. Job 41. Not to try to get too deep, but just follow me here. Interesting thing happened with Job towards the end of the book is the Most High shows up and starts asking him questions about his creation. And obviously, people on our level can't answer these things. But nonetheless, it draws the picture of the genius of how the Most High operates and what he's trying to relate to us, even though we can't answer him, like Job says in 9, one of 1,000 questions, though we have many of them. Leviathan, we know that's one of the beasts of the sea, right? But just pay attention to this. Job 41 in verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Now this is relating this picture to you of creation in this dominant beast that he's trying to relate to you how strong and scary this beast is. He's gonna, as you read, we're not gonna read all of it, but as you read down, he's painting this picture for you of how incredibly big and strong and formidable the Leviathan is, the creature in the sea that the Most High created, right? Who can do these things? The Most High is asking Job. Who can, this huge creature that's huge and stronger and wilder than anybody's belief, who can take him and control him? Who can hook him like a regular fish, like a whiting or a salmon or whatever? Who can do that? We can't. But he's trying to show Job something. Let's jump down to verse 15. Yeah, verse 15. It says, his scales are his pride. All right. Pay attention to that. His scales are his pride. His flesh is his pride. Shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered, meaning split or divided. So his flesh is his strength. It's where essentially you would say somebody would draw their pride from. There's a fleshly side of him because he's formidable. Somebody can't penetrate it. It's like you read about the 144. You stab through with a sword and can't die. It's a different type of scenario because they're going to be, their body's not going to be flesh. They're changed. But I hope you get the picture. The way that Leviathan is built, the pride and the strength and the arrogance, if you will, comes from the flesh, right? That's where the pride lays at. Jump to verse 33. It says, upon earth there is not his like, nobody's like him, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things, and he is king over all the children of pride. Fleshly, think about that. Now remember, the Lord, as you read in Job 39, you read in these chapters, the Most High is using beasts, as he considers Ecclesiastes, men or beasts, using this to help in understanding, to further clarify this picture for you, using both examples, the correlation between the two. We are beasts, but we're endowed with wisdom. But the Leviathan, there's people that have that type of spirit on them, that have the flesh as their pride. All right, they walk around with no fear. There's nobody like them. That's the way that they move. That's the way that they operate, in the flesh all the time, and they're prideful because of it. He has become the king of the children of pride. Now the Lord's using this as an example in the sea, but you're going to use this to relate to people like us and spirits and creatures like us. All right. Now we just read, go back to Sirach 32. We read, let's read it again. Sirach 32 and 18. A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when of himself he have done without counsel. That's a very strange thing for a person to not have fear and move that way. And that's how they think. That's how they live their life. It's not a good thing, because you're always showing these examples of us or our foreparents overcoming the flesh to wade through that to get to the spiritual side of what the Most High is trying to show us. It takes time, but a person that is going to seek counsel, he's going to take his time and be considered on the things that he does. You can't just make willy-nilly decisions and think nothing of it. You can't move like that. The Lord's saying that even when of himself he have done without counsel. A lot of people do that. They live their lives that way. Whatever they're going to do, they live in the moment. That's what they think. I feel this emotion. I'm going to do whatever the thought comes to mind. And then later on, the repercussions come. Because you move without counsel. You did not think. You did not seek anybody else, especially when your mechanism for figuring things out is the mind. And we know that the heart is deceitful above all things. So it's wise for you to have counsel and bounce ideas off of other people that follow the Lord. Let's clarify that follow the Most High, to give you some type of the pros and cons of a decision you might make. A man is only as great as who's ever surrounding him. So that's a very telling thing to see a person by the people that he surrounds himself with. So you got to be careful. That's a person that's following people of God, like in Sirach 37. You follow them everywhere, because they're going to look out for your best interest and show you and tell you what you probably don't want to admit, to keep you out of bad situations. But a man of counsel will do that, not a person that makes reckless decisions. All right. Now follow me. Genesis chapter 25. Some of y'all probably you read this chapter, but stay with me. Genesis 25. And start at verse 19. Genesis 25:19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? She went to inquire of the Lord. Now watch this. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Now, if you understand, it should tell you, stuff like this should show you like how real the Bible is and how sound the Most High's words are. You know the dynamics of Esau and Jacob, which you're witnessing here. The Most High took Rebekah asked the question, why am I struggling like this? And it should show you after a while, as time plays out, especially we live in the now, you just look at these 2 spirits and you understand if you put them in a confined space, the struggle is going to come. This should just basic stuff like that. It's not even basic. It's very prophetic, but stuff like that should show you how real this thing is. These 2 spirits, wherever you put them at, I don't care if you want to go back through history, so-called blacks, Hispanics, the so-called white man. You put them in close confinement spaces, they're going to struggle. These 2 spirits that occupy the same space, constant struggle is going to come. Same thing was in Rebekah's womb. This happened. Okay? This happened back then. You're witnessing it all throughout history. If you want to not familiar with a lot of history, just look at your time period now. Let's not buy into the fact of, everybody gets along, and America's built this construct that people, it's still fascinating to me how people believe, but this construct of, this is different than any other time, and we all get along, and we talk about this on the street a lot of times. Cultural assimilation. You can't be American and be accepted and loved and appreciated unless you drop your heritage. It's the only way you can do that. You whatever that you came with, wherever you came from, I don't care who it is, Arab, whoever. You come to this country and people try to paint you this image of, the melting pot, and it's a different, and we're the greatest on the earth and all this blah blah blah. Unless you drop where you came from and your belief, you're not going to get along here. That's when you become an American, when you adopt somebody else's culture. Then they can accept you. That's how that works. And people try to lie and say we all get along. No, there's constant friction, specifically between us and the so-called white man. People hate to hear this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just the truth. And we know it, people hate the truth. But it is what it is. 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. When her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now, watch these things. People have probably read this a lot, but just pay attention to why I think, like, ask questions of when you read scripture, ask questions of why things are the way they are. Like, why did he put that there? Why is he noting a person's age? Why does it care about him calling a Syrian? Why does it matter that he's from Bethlehem? Think about these different things, because none of this stuff is random. If the Most High moves like that, it's just little genius little things here and there that you start to process over time of like, this is why this happened. And the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents or tabernacle. Plain man dwelling in there. All right. Verse 28, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. All right. You talk about the supplanter, and I've seen a clip a long time ago of a Jewish guy saying that, oh, Jacob was evil because he, stole this and stole that. But watch, just pay attention how these things work. Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now, a person can say anything. Anybody can say anything. The test comes in where wherever your reaction plays out, that's where the real test comes in at. Anybody can approach you and say anything. You can have girls hit on you all day. You don't have to engage them. You can have somebody that, tries to entice you to do something. Let's go steal and rob this person's house. The test comes in with the decision that you make. So you can't necessarily blame the person coming to you. Your reaction is what's going to set this chain of emotion, this chain of events in motion. That's the way it's going to work. So Esau decides, as a man that's not of counsel and considerate, Esau decides to sell his birthright to Jacob. Jacob asked, he sold it. Jacob didn't steal it. He didn't do anything. That's not how it worked. Pay attention to Esau's spirit. Now, we're going to come back to this. I want you to pay attention to something. This is one of them rash moves I was talking about. These decisions that we all make and pay attention. The difference is at this point in time, they don't necessarily have the totality of Genesis to Revelation, but we have that added benefit. So it's wise to be able to look at these things, take your time and go through things to learn these lessons so you don't repeat these mistakes. But we're coming back to this. Go to Genesis 38. Genesis 38 verse, try to give you some context. I'm gonna read the whole thing. Genesis 38 verse 1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in to a certain Adulamite whose name was Terah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her. This is not obviously a good thing. Israelites not supposed to be doing stuff like this. But pay attention. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name She conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Now, I'll hold that for later. Verse 7. And Judah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up a seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother. Now, the context of this is not, I don't want to get too deep into this, but the context of this is just a law we know in Deuteronomy 22 and 5 about a brother raising up seed to his brother. If he passes away, I had a law where a man marries his brother's wife, raises up seed for his house to continue, not to take over the place of the progenitor of that, but to raise up somebody to continue to have his own lineage and line to continue, so his name is not quote unquote blotted out. All right. Onan decided to sleep with her, but then decided, I don't want to get her pregnant. That's wicked. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore the Lord slew him. Also, then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown. Underline that. That should show you at the end of the day, people talk about how, that's what I'm talking about, little things here and there. There's many of them in Tobit, in Numbers, Deuteronomy. Those little things where they say, wait until he's grown. Same thing in Ruth, which we're going to go to. People talk about, oh, there's no age of an adult with the Israelites. You marry a 14 or a 12-year-old. That's madness and nonsense. There is an age that you grow up to be, and it's 20 per scripture. It's not conjecture or somebody's opinion. This is scripture. So if somebody argues that, ask them the point. What point was it to the point where he was grown to marry somebody? For he said, lest peradventure he die also, and as his brethren did, and Tamar went and dwelt in his father's house. So now this is what happens. So we don't read through the entire thing. Just the context of it, but we're getting to a point. Judah does not give his son to Tamar, his daughter-in-law. He doesn't. Time goes on. Tamar is told that Judah has gone down to a certain place. Tamar throws on her widow's clothes and goes to meet him there. She's concealed. Judah doesn't know that that's her, his daughter-in-law. All right. Because the time was supposed to come where Judah was supposed to give his son to her. That didn't happen. So she goes to meet to get conceived. She winds up sleeping with Judah, winds up sleeping with her, and Judah gives her signet staff, a recognition of the person that slept with him. The time comes later on. Judah gets word that Tamar is pregnant, finds out, oh, she's been a whore, she's been playing the harlot. Let's bring her forth and let's kill her. Then, when the time comes, Tamar reveals herself and provides the same stuff that Judah gave her and was like, you slept with me. So he sleeps with his daughter-in-law. All this chaos happens. And since Adam fell, all this stuff continues to happen. Nonetheless, that's the story. So she gets pregnant by Judah. Now, pay attention. Verse 25. I'll start at 24. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. Judah said, bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child. So she's telling them, the one I got pregnant by, the guy that fathered this child, I have his possessions. I can provide him to show you this is who the father is. And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet, bracelets, and the staff? Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son, and he knew her again no more. Now watch. Verse 27, and it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. Same thing we're reading and you're hearing about in Genesis 25, okay? This is the way these things, and you see these things, each pattern of things continue to turn up for you to understand and see certain things that are happening. So she has twins in her womb by Judah. Now, funny thing is that the genealogy is not reckoned after the birthright, which is funny when it comes to Israel. There's a lot that goes into that, but it's a fascinating concept once you start stringing things together. From Reuben to Judah to Joseph and his two sons, you start seeing these different things. Nonetheless, twins were in Tamar's womb. Verse 28, and it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. Sounds a lot like Genesis 25, all right? So what happens is this midwife is watching. There's a reason. The midwife's watching. The child, there's children are what you would consider to be fighting to get out. Once the child sticks a hand out first, she sees it, wraps the thread around the wrist for a reason. That's what she did, the midwife. Now imagine somebody sitting there and seeing this and waiting and seeing it. And as soon as he sees the hand come out, wraps the thread around her. All right. This is showing you the urgency of what's happening with the birth. Verse 29, and it came to pass as he drew back his hand that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore, his name was called Pharez, which means breach. So the hand that came out that had the thread on it was thought was to be the one that comes out first. The thread goes around it. Okay, this is the firstborn. The hand goes back in. The brother manages to get out first. His brother in the room manages to get out first. And then the midwife says, how is this possible? The brother came out. You have broken forth. Remember, when Israel has these names, they have names for a reason. All right. Moses drawn from the water. You have all these different things that mean blessings and lessons and stuff. So Pharez and the brother is no different. The one that managed to get out first, name was Pharez, which means breach. Verse 30, and afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Now, why is any of this important? Trying not to lose you here. This is still going back to a point, all right? Watch this. Let's go to Ruth. Ruth chapter 4. Yeah, Ruth chapter 4 and verse 10. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. The exact same dynamic that happened in Genesis 38. All right. That's why I said these pattern of things you kind of got to watch out for. To raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. So Boaz has now stepped in to take over the sons that were passed from Naomi, if you read the story, whatever. Verse 11, and all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and Leah, which two did build the house of Israel, and do thou worthily in Ephratah, and be famous in Bethlehem. This stuff, in our lineage, this stuff is serious business. This isn't, people might watch like Game of Thrones, and they'll be like the house of I don't know their names, I can't remember. I saw it, but it's been a while. Terra something or whatever. They have these houses, these names, but it shows you how important it is for certain people to take the throne, certain people's sons to take the throne, all these other things. They understand the urgency and the importance that follows these lineages and the stuff that comes with it. You see the same dynamic with this playing out when Solomon was going to take a throne, when David was about to die. People pushing forth for one of the sons to take over, but Solomon becomes king. They understand this importance. Verse 12, and let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, she was his wife, and when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. Now, mentions Pharez again, all right? This is the significance. Jump up to verse 18. Now these are the generations of Pharez. Pharez begat Hezron, Hezron begat Ram, Ram begat Amminadab, and Amminadab begat Nahshon, Nahshon begat Salmon, Salmon begat Boaz, Boaz begat Obed, and Obed begat Jesse, Jesse begat David. Now, if you're not aware why this is important, real quick, go to Matthew chapter 1. Matthew 1, verse 1. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac begat Jacob, Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Judas begat Pharez and Zerah of Thamar. Watch. And Pharez begat Esrom, and Esrom begat Aram, Aram begat Amminadab, so on and so forth and so forth. The same lineage gets repeated from Ruth to now, but you see Zerah's name doesn't continue. That line of Christ comes from that lineage of Perez all the way down to Boaz, David, Jesse, all those names all the way down to Joseph becomes the son of God. Now, this is the significance. You're seeing how we read in Genesis 38 the importance of which child's coming out first, which child's getting the birthright, which child's getting the blessing. You seeing the significance of this and the importance behind it. So much so that she had to take a red scarlet thread and put it around to identify which one, which didn't happen to be the one that came out. But it's showing you how important that is. Now, why is that significant? As we're reading in Sirach 32, the counsel and the wisdom comes from being considerate and having the fear of God, but it's amongst counsel, making wise decisions and being careful of every step that you take in this life, everything. Because people are not paying attention to the repercussions that can happen, so on and so forth, way down the line. They're not paying attention to it. It's very difficult in this time frame, and I get it, that we live in this, the microwave society, the idea of getting what you can immediately. It's very hard in this time and age not to live in the moment. All right. But it's important that we, as Israelites, you establish foresight. You have to. Because if you, hold on real quick, Proverbs 22, I think, then we're going back to Genesis. I think it's Proverbs 22 or 27. Might be both. Proverbs 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Verse 4, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. So you can continue down. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. He that doth keep his soul shall be far from them. So the Lord's painting this picture of always being, don't be prideful, take your time, walk with fear, not like horror movie, but walk with the fear and the respect of the Most High, because he's trying to navigate your life the best way he can. But don't be a froward person. Don't make decisions without the Most High's guidance or seeking him, sending up prayers and trying to figure out what's going on, because you wind up in a situation. Let's go back to Genesis 25. Genesis 25 in verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do unto me? So Esau asked that question. What's the point of it? What's the point of the birthright? Now think about this. The Lord said in Rebekah, two nations supposed to be separated from the womb. The problem now is we have in this immediate time, it's hard to tell those brothers apart now. Very difficult to tell them apart. Though they're diametrically opposed. They're completely opposite. It's supposed to be. But I guess through captivity, evil communications, corrupt good manners, it's still prevalent now. So it's a good explanation of something that happened. This is the spin-off of something that has been created through being around certain people too long and you pick up their spirit. But those two are supposed to be separate. There's two nations supposed to be in that womb. Two manner of people are supposed to be separate. Two different distinct people. Esau decides to sell the birthright. Esau's not a man of counsel. You see at time he's a man of counsel for evil. But what the Most High you're watching and witnessing, it's not necessarily about, it's not so much more about the pottage or Esau eating something. It's the idea of the spirit that he has, that he does not value what is God's, or what God has to offer, or what God finds valuable, he doesn't find valuable. He doesn't find that valuable. That birthright, as we're reading down the line, we know that we read up above, the elder is going to serve the younger. We know. But remember, Jacob didn't snatch that. That's the spirits that's resting on Esau from the very beginning. Right? He's volunteering to do that. Verse 23. Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So you saw a glimpse of how important it is to have that birthright. Now the funny thing is, somebody can't argue and be like, well, Esau doesn't value anything God has to offer. That's not true, because when we read in Genesis 27, when we get a couple chapters ahead, you realize that Esau does a lot of crying because he valued the blessing. He didn't care about the birthright, but he valued the blessing. That's a very significant thing to pay attention to, because again, it's kind of like the idea of, like, scriptures tell you in Revelation and Ezekiel about eating that book, and it's sweet to the taste, but it's bitter to the stomach. Esau didn't necessarily care about, if you can see the class picture of the Pope, Esau, standing at the altar, if you will, looking up to the black image, the black Madonna. They have this stuff in Europe, if we know. Looking as if you're there to serve and you appreciate the glory and the majesty of the Lord, Mary in Christ. That's the image it gives off. But as we start to dive deeper into the spirit and see how you maneuver and how you move, we know that that's not true. But a person gives off that image and that facade as if they really value that. They value that birthright. The scary thing is Jakes don't value that birthright either, but they want the blessing though. They don't care about the birthright, but they want that blessing to come. Real quick, go to Proverbs, back to Proverbs. Proverbs 20 and verse hold on a second. Proverbs 20 and verse 14. It says, it is not, saith the buyer, but when he is gone his way, then he boasteth. Let's come back to that real quick. Let's come back to that. Go to Romans 9 real quick, because we read up above in Genesis 25 about the idea of Rebecca struggling in the womb, and she inquired of the Lord, and in Romans 9 kind of explains about what the Lord is expressing or told her specifically. Because we read about Isaac loving Esau for the venison, but Rebecca loved Jacob. Romans 9 in verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So that idea of like Jacob being the supplanter and stealing and taking this and being the deceiver in this exchange, you don't read. Rebecca doesn't even step in until the point where Isaac is going to give out the blessing. You don't read or see about her doing anything until the time came where Isaac was, his eyes was dim, he's getting old in age, and he was giving the blessing out. You don't see that. But Esau already sold his birthright. All right, before it even came to that, he was already a hunter when he was blessed with the sword. That spirit already rested on him from the very beginning. So even if somebody would have formed the argument that Jacob was the guy, look how deceptive he was in stealing this and that, it was already preordained. But Esau had that spirit from the very beginning. Esau decided to take that birthright. I don't care nothing about this. Give me something to eat. You take the birthright. The birthright comes with a lot of different things that a person's going to have to take on. But even though it might be a lot of ups and downs, and we've proven it, you're proving it. But because Israel's gone through so many hoops, captivity after captivity, that comes with the birthright. But the blessing follows it. Now the problem is that, go back to Proverbs 20. The problem is that Esau didn't want the birthright. He cared nothing of it. It was of no value to him. But he did want the blessing though. He made sure he wanted the blessing. When he heard that, he starts crying and everything else. I need this, and don't you have another blessing for me, Father? The scary thing is that that's why I asked earlier, what is the difference between the two brothers now? Because you can't really see it in this day and age. Jacob has taken on Esau's spirit completely. Proverbs 20 and verse 14. It is not, meaning nothing, saith the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasteth. So the idea of a person going to acquire something, right? They try to downplay the price of it. It's too high. But when they acquire it and they leave, they brag about the deal that they got. Now think about, you read in Revelation, right, that Christ says, in Revelation, towards the end of Revelation 3, you read about Christ saying, come buy of me gold tried in the fire, right? Same thing in Isaiah 55, no money, get the bread and stuff that you don't have to pay for. But make no mistake about it, there is a price we have to pay for salvation. Think of it now, like for instance, think of it this way: women, every day, women make a conscious decision to have children, right? They want to experience the unconditional love, the connection that they derive from carrying a child. Sorry, things popping up on my screen. Tripping. To be called or be known as a mother, it's their like this maternal instincts, right? It's like one guy said that's woman's superpower, and this is, you consider this like in a vacuum. This is if all things are equal. We know if we take women today, that ain't what they look like, and that ain't why they have kids. Nonetheless, if all things being equal, these are the things that women still, even in the world, they still desire, that wanting to be a mother, experience that, right? But they know full well that morning sickness is going to come, weight gain is going to come, levels of gas are going to come, the contractions and ultimately the excruciating pain of labor. bringing forth a child through delivery, right? To underscore that point even more, you have women that have children, and then they decide, knowing full well what's to come, they decide to go have more children to take that on again, right? They understand the cost to value ratio, if you will. They don't say that the price is too high to pay. They know what's coming, they accept it, and they want that at the end, right? Esau doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go through the ups and downs. He just wants the blessing at the end. That's it. He doesn't want to learn anything from it. He doesn't want anything. He wants to take, steal, and all the glory and the blessings and everything is. Israel, Jacob's doing the exact same thing. You should be able to go to any brother or sister and explain to them and be like, hey, your birthright. Let's skip past the blessing. We'll get to that. Your birthright is that you are children of the Most High. Your birthright is to have the wisdom of the Lord. Your birthright is to understand how to have a level of love that you cannot see as an example of it on the earth, to experience this next level of appreciation for you and your people, to understand how another brother or sister won't go without because I have to step in place to fulfill that role. That's my duty as my birthright. You understand stuff like that. It's a higher level of understanding the Most High has given to us as a people. Does Israel care anything about that? No. They want they talk about the blessing though. That price, when Christ is standing there handing out salvation, Israel's always like, oh, that's too much. That price way too high. Way too high. But people in the church will have the belief that they walk away with salvation. They'll brag about it. I don't have to do anything. Christ loves me no matter what. I didn't have to suffer. I didn't have to pay anything, and I'm going to walk right into the kingdom. And people brag about, yeah, I got salvation. Oh, I'm saved. All this other stuff. People say it all the time. But they'll tell you, no, when they hear it from us or a person that's explaining to it, the Bible, what this is really required of you, and the stuff that you have to do to obtain that, this ain't free. Learning of Christ is free. But you got to set your dial on adversity is very high, that you have to deal with certain things that come your way in this truth. So there's a price to pay. The disciples paid it. Christ paid it. We all have to pay it. They're varying through varying different degrees of difficulty, but we all pay it. But Israel will speak on and tell you all the time, that ain't my Christ. That's way, I'm not, no. To keep commandments? No. To stop eating pork, stop eating shrimp? No, that's way too high. I'll take the other side of it. I want to brag. I got salvation. I want to brag about that. But what you're telling me that Christ wants to get salvation? No, I'm not. I can't pay that. That's way too high of a cost for me to pay. Though I can count maybe 2 or 3 times since I've been in the truth on the street that I've seen maybe a brother and 2 sisters, it might be different for y'all, that have cried on the street when you told them their birthright, when you told them who they were, that you are the descendants of the you are the chosen lineage of the Creator. When you tell them stuff like that, I might have had 2 or 3 people that I've seen cry and like really show like emotion to be like, oh, they understand. I'm not asking you to cry. That's not what I'm asking you. But to understand the value and the importance of that statement and where you stand as far as the spectrum of creation goes. It's a very high level thing. That's why I was trying to express the point in Genesis 38, watching the hand that comes out. Who's going to be the firstborn that gets the birthright? Who gets that? Israel's supposed to be happy for that. You're supposed to be overjoyed for something like that. Then we'll talk about the blessings, because the Most High is not stressing the blessing, though it comes with it. You have to understand the lessons that go with it first. That's why, real quick, go to Wisdom of Solomon 6. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and verse 5. I'll read verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. That's one of the things you always see that's missing from a lot of people. Discipline. It's one of the hardest things. Um, I self-admitted, I say that. It's difficult. It's achievable, but it's difficult. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. That's objective truth, objective law, not somebody talking about they feel like this is the moral compass that I should live by. I can live without the Bible. No. Everybody is prone to be biased to whatever you want to believe or whatever your lust is. That's why the Most High is saying this. This is how you won't fail and never go into corruption. Follow the Most High's word. And incorruption maketh us near to God, unto God, because he is uncorrupted. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Here's talking about with these blessings again. The money, the fame, the streets paved with gold, whatever it may be. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore. Okay, so even the Lord's explaining these different things. If you want all these different things, first take Christ, take the birthright, take what comes with it first, because all those lessons will keep you understand how to navigate through money and things won't corrupt you. When you have wisdom, when you have these different things that's given to the birthright, the firstborn. Remember, same thing in Egypt. We are the firstborn. Same, the Egyptians' firstborn being killed, right? That's why I said I didn't want to get too much into it, but the genealogy not being reckoned after the firstborn, because remember, Reuben lost his, right? It went down to Joseph and his two sons. But Judah was the one that was going to be praised above everybody else because Christ was coming through that lineage. So it's an interesting dynamic of how that works within Israel. Because when Isaac's born, the same thing happened. Ishmael didn't get it. Same thing happens with Jacob. Esau didn't get it. It's a dynamic the way the Most High worked. Though Israel together, which will explain a lot in the New Testament, is the firstborn of the Lord. So they still ultimately get the birthright and the blessing. But the importance is in the birthright. Esau didn't want that. He just cried for the blessing. He cared nothing about the birthright. You're going to act like he's appreciative of it. Then he makes the claim that Jacob took it. He took my birthright and my blessing. No, he didn't. Esau been had that on him. God can't use nobody like that. But I mentioned 2 or 3 people that might be cried since I've seen them, right? Now, I've maybe seen 40 brothers every Sunday in football or whatever during the week in basketball, crying with their hand over their heart, repeating and mouthing the words to this slave-derived national anthem. You see that stuff all the time. Though the price for football is not too high. It is for Christ asks you to do something. Oh, I can't. You're asking too much of me. But brothers will put their lives on the line for recurring concussions. The price ain't too high for the glory of football. For Dorito advertisement, the sleep number advertisements, for the pride of life, all those other things above. There's no problem in putting your life on the line, running the risk, which almost is guaranteed with CTE. I remember it was the guy, it might have been Jim McMahon, the Edomite that was the brothers know about, the 85 Bears. The quarterback for them, I think he was one of the guys that was like, said he was driving around for like 2 hours trying to find his house. And he was an hour from his house. I think he went to the grocery store and in an hour or two, he was driving from block to block trying to find, I think he was 2 miles from his house, trying to find his way back home because he lost, his brain is so jacked up from being hit, concussions in football. But that's no problem. You'll see brothers say that, repeat it over and over again. Would you do it again? Shannon Sharp got, I said, I didn't know, but he makes sense. He said he had 2 hips replaced. He might run the risk of, he says that before, he said, I hope that doesn't happen, but I might run the risk of losing memory. He said, would you do it again? Absolutely. I would never trade it because football changed my life. That's how Jacob think. You're supposed, we're not supposed to have that same mentality that Esau. That's how they think. That is completely how they think. We have completely taken on their personality, could care less about the biblical importance and the historical importance and the impact that you being the lineage that you're from, they care less about that. But give me the, I need you to pour upon the blessing. I need that blessing. I'll cry for that. I whine about the blessing. I want all these different things. But the lessons that the Most High has to show me to go through what I need to go through is too much to ask. It's way too much to ask. And that's the sad nature of it. When you having this day to day and you're seeing brothers, people see it in their families. You see it in people you're close to, friends that you used to be friends with, whatever it is. People you might have been in a relationship with in the past. You know, it's changed, obviously, because you're in the truth. You might have tried to show them. They don't care. They get care less. But I'm sure people have seen it, the post. If they ain't see it on what I put up on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube or whatever. Look at the attention and the blessings of glory and the pride of life that TD Jakes did with his family. His daughter's falling out on the ground, and it's the whole auditorium of people is in there, swaying back and forth with their hands in the air. Yes, pastor, all this other crap. And can't nobody once, as many times they probably been to TD Jakes' church, not once can they open the Bible and show me where that has happened. Show me where the Lord told you to repeat and put your coat on your daughter like Joseph did, what Jacob did Joseph. Where you read that at? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't faze Israel. They continue to do what they want to do because they're so swept up in this world that Esau has created. They're so caught up in it. It's blessing upon blessing, which it looks like. Not even for our people. And it's crazy because you get the raw end of the deal. You don't even really get what you want. This world really sucks for our people. But the crumbs off the master's table, go figure, our people are happy with. It's unfortunate, but the Most High teaches us, Israel, you're supposed to learn through the things that you don't have yet. Think about fasting. Like, the Most High wants you to be satiated when there's no food that's there, right? You can learn from that. You read in Isaiah 58. You pray when there's no God there, right? You hoping when there's no hope available. That's strength. That's built on faith. That's furthering your understanding and your belief and your foundation in the God that you know is going to show up and save and deliver us. You know that. You can believe that. Even though the Most High, we know that there's like people talk about, you believe in that sky God. But we know there's evidence. Not like the Most High doesn't leave us with evidence. It's just whether you're going to believe it or not. So I said this before. They'll be like, show me an existence of the God you believe in. I'd be like, all right, you see the rainbow out there? That's one. We can go down a myriad of things. That's one. Oh no, that's the rain reflecting off of this. That's the rain reflecting off the sun. Oh, this and that. It's madness. But at the end of the day, people don't want to believe it. So it's going to take a level of faith that people are not accustomed to because people are only believing what they see, which is not good. We read Esau gives up the birthright for something to eat. It's of no value to me. Israel does the same thing. They will toss away the birthright and the blessing for a bowl of unclean food, for pork, for whatever it may be. All these different things that the Most High says is of no value, and it's telling you He created it, so I know it's going to get you sick. I'll curse you for doing these different things. Israel will give it up. You have Jakes giving up their whole blessing and everything for a white woman. Sisters do it for a Chinese man. They'll do it for a plate of pork. They'll do it for, you find out some unclean food is in their favorite fast food place. They can't give that up for the pride of just being seen or walking somewhere and wanting to be acknowledged by people that have no value themselves. They love it. They love it all day long. And the Most High is trying to show you at the end of the day, I need to withhold things from you. Because that's when you start to understand. That's when I can teach you how to rely on me and stop looking and lusting after things in front of you and replacing, future be damned. The things that the Most High can give you. Forget that stuff. It's that right now, right here is what I want, and I'll deal with the consequences later. We need brothers that say that stupid crap about uh, I'll deal with Christ when he get back. I seen you was quiet when the cop pulled up. Like, nobody believes that. You don't believe that. I'm scared for you. But this is where Israel is, and it's unfortunate. But you have to be able to take and appreciate the things that the Most High has shown you. Um, I'm I don't know if I'd say I'm relearning it. Um, I'm seeing it more clearly, I guess. Something that a couple things that was in front of my face this whole time, but didn't see it. Um, but that's things like that. That's another reason why you know the Most High is even real. Revealing things to you. It's like, it's amazing. You can stare at something for 2 years straight, just staring at it, nothing to eat, nothing to drink. You've been seeing it, and all of a sudden, 2 years and 2 minutes pass, and you see something completely different. It's fascinating. But you have to appreciate those things, and the Most High will reveal these things to you if he knows that you're gonna take it and have find value in it. If you're gonna use it to your advantage, not just to you, but your advantage can be helping your people, whatever it may be, because that's our birthright and that's our biblical duty to be able to look out for brothers and sisters. But it's a dog eat dog world out here that Esau's created in Israel. Israel loves it. But you learn things through moderation and not having a lot of things. That's the only way, because at the end of the day, if a man has everything, what can you teach him? He believes that he has everything. I should not say he has everything. But he believes that he has everything. What can you show him? What can you teach him? Older folks on the street tell us that all the time. I've been on this earth 50 years, young man. What can you teach me? I don't know. Probably how to keep the Sabbath. We can start there. But the arrogance is ridiculous. Let's go to Sirach. Back to Sirach. 30. 31. Yeah, verse 31. Chapter 31, verse 16. It says, "Eat, as it becometh a man, those things which are set before thee. Devour not, lest thou be hated." This is, again, there's so many things that's fascinating about the scriptures, but this etiquette in the way that you handle a lot of different things. Most High is using this as a gateway, if you will, to help your understanding to bust through walls. You see this on face value about eating. He's trying to teach you something else too. "Eat as it becometh the man those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated. Leave off first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend." So you can use this as you go over somebody's house. Don't be a nigga at the table. Don't do these different things. Have a awareness about you and the way that you carry yourself, especially knowing who you are. There's a proper way to handle everything. Even the Most High is showing you something as simple as eating, but there's a better understanding behind it. Don't be unsatiable, because you'll lose yourself. No discipline. You don't have that. Wisdom teaches that. Discipline first. If you're insatiable, anybody can pull you away. Verse 18, "When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all." What does that sound like? The man that sticks his hand in the bread is the one that's betrayed me. Like Judas. That's what it sounds like. Verse 19, "A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching, choler, and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man." You can precept this with Proverbs 23 is good to pair with this. He goes into the downside of having that type of spirit on you. But it's good though. because it paints a clear picture for you to help you understand what the Most High is trying to show you through these basic principles. There's so much more to learn. Remember, the Most High's wisdom is double, triple, quadruple. It just takes time to see it. Just value what the Most High has given you, and He'll continue to knock down the walls and the barriers of understanding that you might not see now, but later on it'll come. All right? Don't be that type of person that don't have something that's ever going to put you under the spell and take you away. Paul talks about that. Don't, paraphrasing, I always forget what that scripture is in Corinthians, I think. I will not be placed under the power of any. Making sure that you understand that there's nothing, because the only thing that you need to be under the power of is wisdom. Let the Most High show you different things. Withhold yourself, and the Most High will start presenting it in time when you need it, because He knows before you pray what you need. Don't be that person that, I need to get this, I have to buy this, and I have to do it right now on the Sabbath. I gotta get it. Like, why can't you wait till tomorrow? Nah, I gotta get it today. Why can't you stop sleeping around? Ah, no, man, it's not. You know, in this day and age, man, it is what it is. A man gonna be a man. You become, people will be succumb to their lusts and their desires, and they think that they're in control, and you're just being dragged all over the place, like a dog on a chain. Christ speaks about it in John 8. It's the same thing. You become this person or this spirit just dragged from whatever desire to the next desire, and you think that you're in control and you're making sound decisions, but you're not. No counsel, no consideration, no fear, nothing. It's just whatever I can get at this moment in time is what's best suits me. 2 Corinthians 4. 2 Corinthians 4 in verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So you see, Esau's mentality is whatever's in front of him. I don't value what the Most High has provided. I don't need it. It's of no use to me. But you do want the handout. You do want, I should say, pieces of God that you feel like are valuable. There's value in adversity. There's value in struggle. It's not pleasant, but there's value in it. And the Most High is all about showing you the value of lessons. Because when the time comes, listen, the kingdom of heaven is going to be made up of individuals that don't need to keep repeating mistakes. They don't need to keep going through all these different things, because this is the place, this is the learn, it's the training ground right now to understand certain things, to overcome things, to understand how to deal with your people, to understand who you are and how to evolve into the highest level Israelite that the Most High wants you to evolve into. This is the time to do it. It's not, oh, I'll just wait until the Christ come back. Oh, I'll just wait until next week. Can't do that. This ain't no. And people, I tell you this, people have been in the truth long enough. This ain't no 24-hour period. This ain't over in like, oh, I'll master it in 6 weeks, man. You be out this junk for years and still discovering stuff about yourself and still understanding how weak you are from the flesh. All right, so it take time. It's a better time. It's better to try to utilize those things now versus later, and you don't know when later is. Scriptures tell you don't boast about tomorrow. We have no idea. You have no idea. Most High turning things up all over the place. You got to be careful and be mindful of your place and where you stand at, because we don't have a paper that tells you, yeah, you got 6 weeks left. Never know. You never know. But you want to be mindful of those things, because if the Most High decides to snap his finger, like I think it says in Job, what are you gonna do? The spirit belongs to the Lord anyway. It's gonna go back to where it came from. You have no power to retain it. So be mindful of those things. Let's close out Leviticus 20 and 24. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. Separated you from other people. Separated you from other people. Listen, be proud of that at the end of the day. Man, it's hard to find people in your nation that have your best interests at heart, let alone the rest of the nations. So be proud of stuff like that. Get out of the mentality of the delusion that America has tried to paint you under to make you feel more at home and people appreciate you and all sorts of stuff. They don't. They don't have your best interests at heart. They don't know what your best interests are. So it's hard for somebody to even say that and make that claim. But be mindful. I'm gonna start doing a series. Again, the aim is hopefully it helps somebody. But I'm gonna start doing a series. Probably just go into the first part in. Might be out Monday. It's not gonna be that long, but I'm doing parts of series and stuff for what to expect for your walk. Some people, whether it be you're a quote unquote veteran in the truth, whether you be new, probably more so aimed towards that. But hopefully it helps whoever views it. So if you're interested, it'll be up on the same channel. People starting their journey in the truth, what to expect, being aware of certain individuals that are wearing fringes and certain things. No people in mind. It's just, I wish this had, maybe I had seen something like this initially. But again, whatever road you had to travel down to get to where you are now, you might want to, if I pull punches here and this and that, but you never know if you would still arrive at the same place. So appreciate the scars and the bumps and the bruises. You learn better, and the hope is that somebody can't necessarily, you're not gonna be duped again. Let's put it that way. I'm appreciative of the experiences, the brothers I've met. I know it's all a learning experience at the end of the day, and it takes time. But I'm appreciative of it. But hopefully, something like this will help. I don't know I'm gonna title it yet, but I'm gonna try to probably put the first one out Monday. So if you're interested, tune in. Lord's will. This is to help somebody, provide clarity, may jog your memory, make you a considerate person when you're making decisions. Lean more towards counsel, whatever it may be, in somebody that you trust. With that being said, it's a pleasure. As always, all praise and honor to the Most High in Christ. Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters. Keep enduring, keep fighting. It's tough out here. Be appreciative of the time you got. Utilize it. All right. Most High in Christ bless y'all. Shalom.